tell me about what exactly is GCC. Like we have seen in nowadays, this huge trend about GCC, and there's everyone, talking about what is GCC, this, that. So please elaborate on this term. What is exactly this GCC and how it typically operates?
So let me tell you, GCC is not a recent phenomenon. It's not a new phenomenon as far as India is concerned. Right. So of late, if you will see last say around 15 years or so, GCCs are already in India. So many of the global conglomerates, they have already set up their GCCs in India, and they are benefiting out of it. So if you look at the global MNCs, I mean the big corporate and the MNCs, like two, three examples I can cite you, like American Express Bank. There are one and two, three more organizations, right? So already they have set up, and the setup is huge. So now thing is that, I mean, why this company or why any organization, why any global conglomerate or the MNCs, they are preferring to set up their GCCs in India. So there are many aspects to it. Primarily there are two, three, which we all know. First is the kind of support being given by the Indian government. So Indian government is promoting it. Indian government also wants that this GCC should grow. That is one reason. And the second reason could be the kind of infrastructure we have. So we have great amount of infrastructure.
So you have talked about like how GCC, have seen a significant growth in India over the years, right? So can you walk us through like how they have evolved and what are the key factors which has driven this rapid expansion?
A good question. So, I mean, India. If you look at India and the last 20, 30 years of India, you will notice that India is known for its IT services across the global community. So all across the globe, wherever you go, you will find India and Indians being at the helm of the affairs of the IT services. Right. So information technology has always happens to be the mainstay at India or for Indian industries. There are many big Indian organizations which are contributing globally a lot, which has contributed. There has also been a recent phenomenon where you will see last 4, 5, 6 years, many of the Indian people from India origin, they are now heading many of the global IT organizations. We all know about that. So that shows and that reflects the contribution of India and the kind of work we are doing in India, the kind of educational institutions we have, which is creating such a great amount of talent, right? So, though there is a talent in India, but who will shape the talent? So many great educational institutions have come up in last 30, 40 years in India, which has also contributed to the growth of IT industry, not only into India but also globally, right? So these are the basic things which has created or which has given a base for the growth, base for the development, and a platform, rather you would say, or one can say, a platform for the global capability centers in India.
Very well said, sir. So, what do you think? Like, what is the role of government in this crucial development, right? And how has the Indian government aided the growth of GCC, as well as what are the recent policies that stand out in particular for you?
I mean, if you see, Government of India is quite bullish about it. Government of India knows if India has to grow, if Indian population, we know that we are one of the most populous countries in the world, and if Indian population has to be supported, India has to come out with some innovative solutions, right? And looking into India, as I told you, that into services segment, India has always done well, right? So this is probably one of the area or the reason I mean, why India should do well, how India should do well, and Indian government basically they are supporting. So they are coming out. I can't say that currently they have any policy, a specific policy as far as central government is concerned. They might not have any specific policy as of now for GCC, but many of the Indian states, right? And you know that India has there is a central government as well as there is a state government. Like in USA also you have a federal structure in place. So many of the state government in India, like your Telangana, like Karnataka, like Tamil Nadu, even Kerala, and some other states, they have come out with policies for GCC, right? So there are many states. I am rephrasing it because I would not like to take the name of the states, right? So there are many. Though government of India, central government, they are figuring it out. They are working it out to come out with a policy to support the GCC. But one thing I will tell you, in recent last 3-4 months development, if you will take into account, many state government, I can tell you not less than 70 state governments across the country, they have come out with conducive plans to develop and promote the global capability centers in India, wherein they are not only promoting but also they are providing with the various kind of incentive, and they are asking global community, global multinational corporations or the big conglomerates, they are inviting them to be in India, work, set up their centers, deploy as many as people they want to in India, and flourish. So yes, government of India is working on it. There is one more aspect to it, and that is there was a recent economic survey. So there was a recent report on account of economic survey just prior to budget, which was placed in the market. There, in the government of India cited data, and they said that in days to come by 2030, India should actually, the GCC should actually contribute to 3.5% of the GDP, gross domestic production. So that is the kind of potential government of India is eyeing for. And if you are eyeing for something like 3.5% of the GDP or the gross domestic production only from one segment of the industry, that is global capability center, you can see, you can just imagine the kind of impact it can create. And if it is going to create, certainly it is going to create the kind of impact which we are talking, then government of India also has to come out with some plan. So I am sure, though there is no official communication on it from government of India, but I am sure government of India must be working on it to capitalize the opportunity as far as GCC is concerned. And we should not, in days to come, we should expect, in recent future, near future, we should expect some concrete policy from government of India onto GCCs. Yes.
That's very informative. So, when we are setting up a GCC in India, what do you think are the important regulations and compliance requirements that a company needs to be aware of?
Obviously, as I said, India is a huge country with a deep-rooted democratic system in place, and a huge population. That is also very important. So, if you have a huge population, geographically also we are a big country, we are a huge country. So obviously there are many regulations in place, and there is no such as such. There is nothing much is required. But one thing is there are many good Indian organizations, Indian companies, which can actually support the endeavor, right? Which can actually support the endeavor if somebody say in the US or Europe based organization, they want to create any infrastructure, they want to set up any infrastructure in India to support their GCC dreams, to support their endeavor on account of enhancing the quality output and everything. So it's not going to be a big deal, but yes, certain regulations are there that any company has to do, and any good company in India, they are capable of managing and meeting it.
Looking at the infrastructure and current business environment in India, how does the current ecosystem support the establishment and smooth operation of GCCs?
I mean, see, ecosystem is already there, as I told you. If you look at the information technology industry, IT industry, so already IT, there is not much of difference if you ask me possibly. There is not much of difference in between IT industry and GCC. So that kind of a structure is already prevailing in India. So many, I mean, not less than, I could say, if I look at the large size IT organizations, and I mean, around 10,000 big size IT companies must be working in different parts of the country. Right. So already those things are there, those kind of infrastructure is there. But if you look at the global capability center, it is not only the information technology, it's an amalgamation of two, three, four things. First is you need to have, of course, I mean, some kind of support from the government, which of course currently the central government and the state government organizations are providing. Number two is the best of the class infrastructure. So best of the class infrastructure, you know, India, since India, as I told you, that it's a huge country, we all know about it. So we have got 4 metros. Apart from that, there are few A cities also which is doing well, category A cities which are also doing well. But apart from that, what I would say that there are few upcoming tier 2 cities in India, which is going to play a pivotal role into the development of GCCs, right? Because see, already if you ask me, metro and tier A cities, tier 1 cities, already there are many infrastructure in place. But you have to also look from the different aspects, because see, the kind of educational institution India has, it has a very deep rooted presence of educational institutions, a good quality, a best quality, a global standard educational institutions into many of the states across the country. So they are also creating every year, say around lakhs of people are graduating from various colleges. Rather, crores of people, crores of graduates, they are coming into market. So why only to? So now what is happening of late? The metro and tier 1 cities, they are being pressurized in terms of infrastructure. Because see, if India has to grow, India can't only grow from the perspective of metros and tier 1 cities. Even the tier 2 cities also have to support it, looking into the kind of size and magnitude of the country. So there are many good infrastructure which has come up in recent 1 or 2 years in India. And let me tell you, they are doing wonderfully well. They are doing exceedingly well, right? So there I do see many activity happening, many development taking place. Yes.
Okay, so coming to that point that you have quoted earlier, like India is known for its skilled talent pool, right? So how does this availability of talent contribute to the success of GCC?
I mean, without talent, we cannot imagine GCC. It is as simple as that. If GCC, at the, you can say, the center of GCC, or the core of GCC, the talent, is there, right? So without talent, we cannot imagine the growth and development and the future of GCC. So as I told you, there is no dearth of talent in India. So India is not only supporting its talent for Indian business, but many of the Indians, they have gone abroad, they are contributing to various corporate, various global organizations globally. So there has never been a concern about as far as talent is concerned. So there has never been a concern for talent in India. The idea is that the talent should get, you can say, an avenue, right? They should get a way where they can actually contribute and prosper. Not only they can prosper, but the organization where they are contributing, they also prosper. Right. So there has never been so in nutshell I would like to tell you, there has never been a shortage on account of talent in India. There is a continuous flow of talent, and let me tell you, Every new batch in India is better than the previous batch. The kind of competition India has, and the kind of institutions India has. So they are creating every year. I can tell you because I have been participating in many of the campus interviews and many of the campus development programs. So I have seen every year. Let me tell you, every year the kind of talent I come across, that is phenomenal. I'm sure the kind of talent this year I have come across, next year it is going to be better than this year. So that is the kind of level of education, level of awareness, level of competitiveness prevails in India, and that is certainly going to augur well for the country. Yes.
I completely agree with your point about how talent is growing and India is recognizing it. Right. So, apart from talent, India is also recognized for its technical expertise and innovation culture. So, how do these factors enhance the operation and growth of GCC in the country?
As I said, innovation and technology goes hand in hand. Right. You can't imagine technology without innovation, isn't it? Or without innovation, technology also cannot grow. So as we all of us know, that India has always been the land of technology. So earlier India was known for some other things, right? But now India is known as the land of technology. And if there is a technology, there has to be an innovation. So it goes hand in hand, isn't it? So yes, technology, and there is a culture. There is a culture of innovation in India, and that is how it has primarily helped Indian companies to grow. Not only Indian companies, but Indian people. They have contributed globally other parts of the globe and they have contributed different organizations to grow. Yes.
So, when we consider emerging markets like Brazil or Poland, so what sets India apart from these markets as a preferred destination for setting up a GCC?
Two, three things which sets India apart. First is, as I said, the scale. Any of the country in India, because India largely being an English-speaking country, so any of the country, it's very difficult for them to compete with the scale of India. Number one. Scale, if I say, I'm not saying the scale only in terms of number of people, but the number of graduates which is being produced by Indian educational institutions, right? So that is one thing. Number two could be economy. So the kind of cost structure India can offer, I can tell you, for any GCC, India actually provides them with the advantage such as 40% cost reduction, into operations. So there is a 40% reduction in operation cost if you operate from India, right? Which none of the country can actually compete with India. Number three, the kind of talent pool India has, right? Not only in terms of technology, but also in terms of legal. So I must point it out, within the legal industry itself, India produces around 75,000 law graduates, legal professionals every year. Then you should look at the kind of number we are producing in terms of business master degree holder into business administration, MBAs. So it is not less than, say, around 10 lakh people, 10 lakh MBAs are being produced every year by India. So where all these talent will go? Obviously they are going to contribute to the Indian economy, and that is how Indian economy is doing so well. That is how Indian economy is growing so speedily. So this year also Indian economy is going to grow by 7.5% at the rate of. So you can see last year also we grew somewhere around 6.5 to 7%. So the kind of growth India is producing, it is phenomenal. Growing at a rate of say 7.5% is not an easy task. Plus you have to also take into account the other developed economy. So there are other developed economy which are growing at the rate of 1%, 1.5%, right? Say let us buy 2%. And there India with such a huge base, such a huge population, such a huge geography, if India is growing by 6.5% or 7% or 7.5%, don't you feel it's a phenomenal growth for the country? And where it is going to take us all? So next decade is going to belong to India. So and India is going to emerge as a global hub, not only for the manufacturing but also for the industry sector. So for the services sector. So next decade, next 10 years, India is going to play a dominant role, not only into manufacturing as well as also into the services sector. And let me tell you, GCCs are going to contribute in a big way to the growth and development of the country, not only growth and development of India, but also the global community, the global businesses. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing such information with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.